Hey anyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Bite Size Reactions, where today we're watching episode 3 of Hawkeye. Hawkeye just premiered last week, and the first 2 episodes were a whole load of fun, showing us some of the most grounded content the MCU has been in years, honestly. And it's just been really fun to see Hawkeye get his own solo thing as he should have gotten. On the other hand, of course, he's not exactly solo. We have the introduction of Kate Bishop, and that's been so much fun as well to see her character and how well Haley Steinfeld plays this character from the comics. The episode ends in a cliffhanger where Clint and Kate are trapped by the Tracksuit Mafia, and we are left off on our first look at Echo, who is set to become an important Marvel character of her own, as we know she'll play a semi-decent role in this one, and she's set to get her own spin-off show sometime in the future. Yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. Let's just get into the video. 2007. Guess we're another Kate flashback then? No, this is Echo's flashback. Yeah, just to make clear, if you hadn't figured out already, that she's deaf. She's getting by like reading people's lips. And here we have another father about to die. Yes, dragons are real.
Well, maybe they are, but dragons live in a different world.
That's actually accurate. I'm going to assume that for this show, he's a criminal, obviously, and he actually dies during one of Ronan's crime sprees. Or at least, that's what Echo thinks happened, right? Which is why she's targeting the Ronin so much, instead of staying away. And here we see parallels between her and Kate. Father figure, learning how to fight. Hey, he's wearing a tracksuit. Uncle?
Maya, you're up.
That Fisk. Is that Fisk's hand? Oh, please be Fisk's hand. Is she missing a leg too? Well, there you go. I told you she had some kind of past Ronin. Oh my god, I wanted more scenes with Ronin and seeing him from... Oh, this is a cool angle to see her from her perspective. There you go. He did end up killing her father.
So she wants to bring her sister.
You don't have to go see Imagine Dragons.
I love Imagine Dragons.
You know what? I like Imagine Dragons too.
She doesn't like them. No, she did this on purpose to hurt me.
But I think you both owe apologies.
It's cute.
Totally
It's like, dude, you're a gangster, and you're like, she's your prisoner. You're like, okay, we gotta have a conversation. He's getting a pen.
Trust.
More cookie, please. Thank you.
Are you trying to say it incorrectly in order to force an interpreter?
Right. Well, nice talking to you.
Ah, see, now his hands are tied behind his back, which means it allows him to break out
A
again.
unicorn. Because he's dead.
Ah, that's good, right? Just say he died during Avengers. Just say Thanos. Just say Thanos, an alien. Just say an alien. Oh,
So Ronan
that's
and the person who killed him is dead. That's convenient.
that makes sense because I was there. There you go.
You're lying.
Why would he be lying? The Ronin is this mass murderer, as far as everyone knows.
Maya, no!
Hey, chill.
Put that suit on.
Ah! He's crashing on the shelves like that. She headbutted him. What an opening move. Ooh, oh, that was so close. Oh yeah, he hit the fake leg. Oh, and by hearing aid, which explains that clip in the trailer. He's got his bow and arrows back. You guys have no chance. Oh, look at that shot! See, and just, this is another kind of like difference between their skill levels, because look at him taking out most of the gang right here, and she's having trouble with just one guy. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Iron Man 2 between Black Widow and Happy, where Happy just takes so long going after one guy, and Black Widow just takes out a whole hallway full of guards.
I was doing fine. Oh, can we take this one?
Come on, that one's the one from the comics. And this is the cool part. I love this car chase scene when we first saw the footage online. This really cool shot of just putting us in the back seat, but constantly rotating throughout the car. And here's the exciting part. The footage cut off just before all the trick arrows. Oh, that's cool.
Play-Doh arrow? Yeah, just a... Hey, we're communicating.
Oh, that's cute. They actually thought the same thing for once. And this is the explosive arrow. Oh, that's awesome. This is a plunger arrow. What does it do?
A plunger arrow? What is a trick that is completely useless? Please be a good one. Please be a good one.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't believe Clint is doing this entire car chase backwards. So many cool trick arrows. Really underutilized in most of the movies. What the heck is that? Oh, it's like just a gas arrow, but they're trying to bring in all the purple that Hawkeye's been missing out on. He's still concerned about the Challenger. Oh, I want to see what this thing does.
Shoot up!
Does that say Pim? Holy shit! That was awesome!
That was amazing!
How the hell did you get to keep any of those?
The USB arrow? What am I supposed to do with this? God, I would take that stone arrow to make this useful.
Oh, USB arrow, it's come back. You gotta have all the things right. Careful, careful, careful. That is a plunger arrow.
I'm quite sure how long a dog can
Call yourself one of the world's greatest archers.
Oh, you hear that? Now that's a real compliment right there.
so.
He can't hear you.
I wasn't sure how we do it.
He still can't hear you.
What do you think?
Oh man, they are so alike. They still think alike. That's great. Well, that's cute. Just helping out by writing on a notepad. Just the fact that even the youngest is used to that idea doesn't make too much sense.
Right? I'm so happy.
I get if the older ones are used to him avenging off and not being around too much, but Nathaniel is so young. He was born in Age of Ultron. Clint basically retired. Clint's been around for most of his life, really. Because, I mean, he was retired and there was that Civil War incident, and then he went home again for home arrest. But I love the perspective of both Echo and Clint's, deafness, and how that's an interesting way of us hearing their perspective, or not hearing their perspective, right? Uncle, come on, it's Kingpin. Who else is gonna be a white guy in a suit? Uncle Kingpin. So clearly, obviously, at some point during this show, they will find out that Clint Barton is indeed Ronan. It's obvious, but how they'll get over that part is going to be interesting.
My job for the last 20 years was to be not recognizable, right?
Well,
Yeah, the whole Avengers thing was
this.
recent.
In purple.
The classic costume showed up. Kind of.
What's that on his head?
It's your head. Wings. Like a hawk.
Apparently,
To nature. That's
I looked at the behind the scenes of the LARPing scene. Apparently, there was somebody
Not happening.
wearing that version of that classic costume, but I don't think he made it to the final cut of the episode. I don't know. At least I couldn't see it in the clip. I just really want to know how Clint would react if he had this before the blip, right? Because before then, that was a very different Clint, right?
You stuck around even though I screwed up.
This is a Clint who's become so much trauma, went through so much nonsense as the Ronin, and that's why he confidently thinks, I'm not a role model. I can't do this. I'm not a good person.
Well, that's
But
where you are not.
I would love to see how he would have thought about himself before those 5 years, right?
And then there's that.
I mean, then he was just a spy. Yes, he was staying away. Yes, there's still that issue of not being with his family a lot. He was a spy, then he was Avenger. He was still, on and on, a hero.
Bishop Security has a huge...
Why can't you just do that?
There's gotta be info on the tracksuits and Jack in there.
It's your mother's house. You have an excuse to be there. Why does he need to come? This isn't gonna end well. I'm sorry, but there is no chance of this ending well. Also, a random trailer popped up on YouTube where we know that these two meet up with the mom. So I know this is not gonna end well. This is not gonna end well. Oh no.
Don't move.
Hey, that's his sword. No. And that was episode 3, Echoes. A apt title in that one we're, given a real introduction to the character of Echo. And we hear only echoes when we are placed in the perspective of Maya. I should call her Maya instead of Echo. And Clint. The highlight of this episode was obviously Clint and Kate's escape from the Tracksuit Mafia in a really spectacular fight. And, of course, the fight and car chase. And, of course, the most spectacular of that was trick arrows. The thing that separates superhero archers from normal archers. In the fact that they have these insane arrows that just cause pure insanity. In this episode, we got to see these weird putty arrows. We got to see gas arrows. We got to see a return of that USB arrow from the first Avengers, a plunger arrow, acid arrows, the old reliable explosive arrows, and of course, the Pym particle arrow. Like, what the heck? How are you allowed to keep that thing? Right? Just lining that shot up perfectly to supersize the other arrow. Wow. Best shot. And a totally unexpected shot in the entire show. Then the show does some really nice legwork in showing how similar Kate and Clint really are, right? How they're able to think the same, kind of still maintain communication, even if Clint is totally deaf, right? And how they can connect and help each other, even if that's, even if there's a huge barrier in between their communication. And I really like where that dynamic is going to go forward from now. I think this episode is the first real clue of Kingpin. I mean, we see a white guy in a suit. He's called Uncle, which means he has a close, almost familial relationship to Maya, which is what Kingpin kind of had in the comics. I don't know. I'm just excited to see Vincent D'Onofrio play the character again. And, even if it's not the Daredevil version, which I hope it is, I'm still excited. Then we end off on that cliffhanger where Jack is in the house instead of Kate's mom, and he, slices out with the stolen Ronin sword. Honestly, I don't think anything will come of this. Kate will come out, and then they'll have to make some kind of awkward explanation. But I think it's a hint of what to come. Speaking of Jack, between last week and now, I have looked into the character a little bit and found out that Jacques Dumond is actually a character, a villain called the Swordsman, which makes it fairly obvious what kind of role he's going to be playing in this show. You know, if all the swords didn't make that obvious already. He could be a red herring, though. He's not. Maybe he's a bad guy, but he's not really the bad guy. In addition to that, something I'm interested to see if the show will address is the swordsman was actually someone who trained Clint in the comics. Now, will they still have that kind of connection? Will they have any connection? I don't know, but it would be really cool if we did that and then they actually recognized each other. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. What was your favorite part of that episode? Over here is the next reaction whenever that comes out. Over here is a playlist of my videos, and on my face is the subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe, criticize even. I don't mind. See ya.